Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll quickly brush up what we did in the last class and then we move ahead. Okay. So can someone tell me the pointers of what all we covered in our last session? Each one can bring out one point.
Ma'am, can I?
Yeah.
Ma'am, ma'am, we learned that different types of thermometers are there, like laboratory thermometer, clinical thermometer, digital thermometer, and
Ma'am.
maximum and minimum thermometer.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Okay. All right. So anybody
Ma'am,
else? Yeah.
there are three types of ways, three types of categories we can divide temperature into. One is Celsius, the other one is Fahrenheit, and the other is Kelvin.
So are they categories or they are units of measuring temperature?
The units of measuring temperature.
They're units of measuring temperature. So we saw the different types of thermometers. Then we also learned about the different units that we use to measure temperature. Okay, what else did we learn in the last class?
Ma'am, I
We
just
all,
have one question.
yeah.
Um, so I got a needle. Will it work? It's like this thin.
Let me just check. Yeah, they'll work.
That'll work. Okay.
They'll work. Okay, and we also studied in detail about the various points of difference between a clinical thermometer and a lab thermometer, right? So we can say that we learned all the measuring instruments and details about temperature, right? And today we are going to study something called as heat. Okay, now you have to tell me, is temperature and heat the same? And give reasons. If it is same, why do you think so? And if they are different, then why do you think so they're different? Come on, who wants to answer?
No, temperature and heat are not the same. Temperature is like a scale on how hot something is, and well, heat is a type of energy.
Heat is a kind of energy. Very well said. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, so Samit answered, right? Who answered to this question?
Ma'am, me.
Me is who?
Samit.
Samit. Okay. All right. So as Samit rightly said, temperature and heat are two different things. Okay. Now let's understand what and how they are different from each other. Now, before we understand the difference, there is one basic concept in science which we should know. Okay. Do you all know that all the matter around us is made up of atoms and molecules? Do you all know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, whatever the characteristic that any matter has, it comes from the molecules, the way the molecules behave, that decides what is the property of the matter it is making. Is that correct? Yes. So if your molecules are, for example, if your molecules are, they have a lot of kinetic energy, that means your molecules are moving a lot. So the matter that they make up would be gaseous matter. The matter will be a gas type of matter. If your molecule is very strong, if it is very, very rigid, if it is bonded to the other molecules very, very strongly, then we say that the matter which is made by that way is a solid matter. Correct? So every molecule which is there in the matter possesses either the potential energy or the kinetic energy. Okay. Now, when we are studying about heat and temperature, we are indirectly studying the kinetic energy which are present in these molecules. Okay, so when we say that something is hot, for example, you have a glass of boiling water. Okay, the or you have a vessel which is kept on the gas stove, and the water is boiling. You can very easily observe that there is a movement of particles inside the vessel. You know, they are going up, they're coming down, they're moving up and down all the time as long as the heat is being supplied. Okay, so when we are studying about temperature or heat, we are going to study the amount of kinetic energy that the molecules have. Do you understand this? This is very important. This is the basic of temperature and heat. Do you understand this point?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ma'am, can you say what is kinetic energy?
Okay. All right. So now tell me, you know the energy is of various types. For example, there is gravitational energy. Okay. Now there is muscular energy, which you use to carry out any task. When you're writing something, you are using your muscular energy, right? The same way, energy, the word energy is broadly divided into two types. Okay, one type is potential energy and the second type is kinetic energy. Potential energy is something which is there when any object is at the state of rest. For example, when you're sitting idly, you're not doing anything at all. That time your body has potential energy. The moment you get up and you start moving from your chair, we say that potential energy has been converted into kinetic energy, and because of the kinetic energy you're moving. Okay, so the easy way to remember it is, whenever something is not moving, it is idle, it is still at a place, it has potential energy. Okay, and whenever is moving, for example, when you have a ball in your hand. Okay, as long as the ball is in your hand, it has potential energy. The moment you throw the ball upwards or sideways, the ball, when it is moving, that time the ball has kinetic energy. So any object which is in motion will have kinetic energy. Any object which is at rest will have potential energy. Is that clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when we are talking about heat and temperature, we are talking about the kinetic energy which is present in the molecules of that matter. For example, as I give you the example of water boiling in a vessel. So water is a liquid matter, okay? And when I'm talking about the temperature of that water, I'm going to be indirectly, I cannot measure how much kinetic energy it has. Okay, I say that the amount of kinetic energy which is there in the water molecules is its temperature. Okay, and that determines how hot or cold it is. To understand this, let me give you a very, very simple example. Take your palm, okay, and rub your palm against each other. Now, when your palm is away from each other, they are not moving, they are not rubbing. Your palm it has potential energy, okay. The moment they rub against each other, okay, both of your palms will have kinetic energy, and second, due to rubbing, due to collision, they are producing an energy which is called as heat energy. Right or wrong? Do you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so when your palm, imagine that each palm is one molecule. Okay, so take your palm, they are away from each other, they are not being heated, they are they are stable, they have potential energy. Okay, now I am supplying heat. And by supplying heat, I'm giving them kinetic energy. I'm pushing them to move. And when they are pushed to move, they start colliding with each other. Okay. And due to the collision, there is a transfer of energy. Imagine you're traveling in a bus. Okay. You're traveling in a bus which is completely packed with so many people standing. Okay. And the driver hits the brake very, very hard. Okay. The person who's standing in the front will experience a strong jerk. But that jerk, he gives that jerk to the person standing next to him. And then that way the movement gets traveled from one person till the last person is standing in the bus. Right or wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is how the kinetic energy of the molecules which are colliding with each other travels from one molecule, hits the other, then hits the third, and they start moving randomly. And that is how the transfer of energy or transfer of heat takes place. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now onwards, whenever you are asked to explain what is temperature and what is heat, what you'll say, temperature means how fast the molecules are moving. Okay, when the molecules of the matter are moving very, very fast, we say that it has more temperature. When the molecules are moving slowly, we say the temperature is less. Okay, so instead of saying the temperature is the by temperature you mean that how hot or cold anything is, we learned one other definition of temperature, which is how fast the molecules of the matter are moving makes the decides what is the temperature of that matter. So if the molecules are fast moving fast, then the temperature is more. If the molecules are moving slowly, then the temperature is less. Okay, so this is a new definition of temperature that you all will remember. Now, what is heat? Heat is nothing but the transfer of energy from one object to the other. Now, one object has, when I'm talking about only one object, it becomes temperature. When I'm talking about that object's energy moving to the other object standing next to it, that becomes heat. Can someone explain what I said right now? What do you mean by temperature?
Temperature is how fast the molecules of a certain thing are moving. So if it's they're moving really rapidly, then the temperature is high. If they're moving slowly, then the temperature is low.
Low. And how different is heat from temperature?
Heat is the transfer of energy from one item to another.
Yeah. So when you're talking about only one molecule, you're talking about temperature. When you're talking about the transfer of that heat energy from one molecule to the other, then the third, then the fourth, and from one complete object to the other object, then you're talking about heat. Okay? Is this concept clear to everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so the units to measure temperature and heat are also different. Temperature, we saw that temperature is measured in degrees Celsius, Kelvin, and degree Fahrenheit. But heat, because it is a form of energy, it is measured in joules. Okay. Now, before we start understanding, so we are in today's session, we are going to be studying the modes of heat transfer, how heat is transferred from one object to the other object. That is the topic that we are going to discuss in detail today. But before we do the explanation part, we will be doing the activity first, and then we will come back to the presentation to understand the different types of heat transfers. Okay, so I'll get your supplies ready and we will start with the activity now.
Are you ready with your supplies?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you can put your videos on and show us. Okay, what are
Ma'am,
the supplies you'll have for the y'all will need a container. Okay, y'all will need a plastic scale, a wooden pencil, and a metal spoon.
ma'am, I actually didn't get a tripod and a beaker, so I can't do this activity.
You will do it. Wait, you just need boiling water. Put boiling hot water in that container. You don't need a tripod stand and a candle. You can do it with hot boiling water. Um, Take 2 minutes and get hot boiling water and put it in the container. All of you can put your videos on. Harshini, Hiya,
I don't have a tripod
Atharva.
stand.
Yes, okay. So you all need to see, most of you must be not having the tripod stand. I understand. You all need to bring hot boiling water. Okay, put it in that container. Go get hot boiling water fast.
Ma'am,
Yes, yes, Sonal.
ma'am, I have a candle.
Okay, you have a candle. It will take too long. It will take
Yeah, it
quite
takes
long.
too long. You can get hot water from your kitchen and use hot water instead directly. So we will save
Okay,
in time.
Yeah.
okay.
So all of you can even I have hot boiling water. Okay. So we don't need a tripod stand and a candle. But anyways, the it this is the setup. But in order to save time, we can use hot boiling water. All of you can go and get hot boiling water fast.
Keep your videos on.
Yes. Hiya and Atharva, you all can also keep your videos on. Samit, have you got hot water?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what you can do is you can put the metal spoon, the wooden pencil, and the plastic scale into your container. Put whole three of them into your container like this.
This is the plastic pen and this is the wooden pencil,
Okay.
the metal spoon,
Yes.
the iron nail,
All right.
and the clip thing, that home clip.
Okay.
Okay.
So in this activity, we are going to see the heat conduction capacity of various objects.
Yeah, we will be observing which object is going to allow the heat to pass through it and which object will not allow heat to pass through it. Okay? So the objects that allows heat to pass through it are called conductors. And the objects that don't allow heat to pass through them are called
Insulator.
insulators. Okay. So all of you can bring hot water and you all can put all your objects into the hot boiling water.
Okay, ma'am.
Come on, Harshini, adjust your camera so that we can see the activity that you're doing.
Ma'am, the hot boiling water.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, the
Yeah,
spoon.
and put all the items in it all at
Ma'am,
once.
scale. So I'm taking this one.
What is
Okay.
that?
Ma'am, and my water is boiling, so I'll bring it now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
it, take out the contents and see how hot or cold they are. And before you take it out, touch at the tip which is outside and see if the tip which is out of water is still hot.
No, ma'am. This part, the tip out of water isn't hot. But if you go closer to the part which is like really close to the hot water, then here it is hot.
It is hot. Is it the same for the plastic and the wooden items too?
For the wooden pencil, it's only hot in the part which was in the water, not outside.
In the water. Okay.
Well, the plastic thing went fully in the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Sonal, you can also, have you put your contents now into the
Yes.
water?
I put it now.
The plastic
Okay.
clip
For
was
some time.
hot.
After that, you can just touch your contents, the other tip, okay, which is out of the water. You can touch them and you can see whether it is hot or how does it feel. You can tell us after some time.
The plastic clip, even though I put it fully inside, it's not as hot as the metal spoon, the part which was inside the water.
Okay.
And the nail. Oh man.
Ma'am, the metal spoon which I put, when you touch it so little close, then it is hot. The plastic spoon is not at all hot, and the pencil is like kind of hot over here.
Close to the
And all the
water.
metal items are hot, and all the wood and plastic is not that hot, but all the metal items are hot.
Spoon is hot, very hot on this point, and it's hot till here.
Okay.
And then my is hot till here. One part of normal water is hot.
Okay.
Maybe because it's steam. And plastic is not hot. Like, not as hot
Not hot at all.
on the tip. That was in the
Man,
What
the
about
metal
Sonal and
items were
Harshini?
hot, and the wooden
Sonal and Harshini?
Ma'am,
The heat is not coming up to the tip.
Okay.
ma'am,
Yes, Sonal?
ma'am, for me, the metal spoon, I put it in wait. I put it in like here only it's hot. It's not hot here.
Okay.
But the plastic here, it's not hot at all.
Okay.
And for the wooden pencil, it's just a little.
Okay. So we can say that metals are very good conductors of heat. Okay, because the metals are hotter as compared to to plastic and wood. Right? So we can say that metals are good conductors of heat. They conduct the heat. They help the heat to pass through it. Okay, so metal is a good conductor of heat. What about plastic? Is the plastic hot?
It's an insulator.
It is an insulator. So we can say it is a bad conductor or
Yes,
a poor
Harshini.
conductor of heat.
Yes, Harshini. Yes, Harshini.
For the wooden pencil, the heat just traveled up till here.
Okay. As much as it was in water.
Yes, ma'am. And for the metal spoon, it traveled up till the tip of the spoon over here.
Okay. If you leave it for a little longer time, it will travel even further.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. And the wooden pencil,
Plastic, it traveled up till here.
Okay. Okay.
so the pencil, which is made up of wood, is also a poor conductor. Okay, it is not we can say it is an insulator. It does not help heat to pass through it. Okay, whereas metals are good conductors of heat. Plastic and wood are poor conductors of heat. Okay, did you all understand this activity?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, we can move on to the next activity.
Now, those of you who all have a needle and drawing board pins, that is the notice board pins, only those people will be able to carry out this activity. And also you'll need wax.
Yeah.
Yes,
need
yes,
wax?
yeah, that pin.
Can
Okay,
you
so
see this?
see how I'm just enlarging ma'am's screen. Just give me a minute so that you all will be able to see what ma'am has done. You have to make it like this. Can you see
Okay,
what
you
ma'am
have to
has
take
done?
a needle. You have to take a needle and you have to stick the board pins with the help of the wax. Okay, this is what you have to do. And you need tongs for this experiment. You can bring tongs from your kitchen. Tell me how many of you have a needle, a big one?
Mommy.
Samit, you have it?
Yeah.
Sonal, you don't have it? Okay. Harshini, Mia, Athar.
Ma'am, I have one just this
Ma'am, I
big.
don't
A sewing needle.
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing.
Yeah. You try to, you're having a candle, Harshini?
Yes, ma'am, but I don't have 3 pins.
Oh, okay.
You have any number of pins, at least one?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have safety pin?
Yes, safety pin will also work.
Yes, ma'am, I have safety pin.
Yeah, so use safety pin. Just take one safety pin. Don't use 3 of them. Just one is enough.
Yeah, here do you have a needle and board pins?
Ma'am, I have a scale like this.
You have a scale. Okay, it will take a very long time actually with the metal scale. It will happen, but it will take a very long time. Do you have a needle instead?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you get it quickly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Samit,
Yes, ma'am.
do you have the needle?
Yes, ma'am. I'm just sticking the wax to the needle.
Okay.
I'm sticking the thumbtacks to the needle.
Athar,
Yes, ma'am, I have a very small needle and I don't have the thumbtacks.
you have a very small needle, and what you don't have?
Ma'am, the pins. Thumbtacks.
The wax.
So let's do it this way. Like Nicola ma'am will demonstrate. You all observe, and those who have the supply, they can then perform the experiment. Okay. Is everybody around? So just observe how Nicola ma'am is carrying out this activity.
All of you can. Is it visible to everyone? You have to hold one end of the needle with the help of the tongs, okay? You have to heat the other end. Carry out this experiment very carefully. All of you need tongs for it. Don't hold it with your hands. Don't hold it with your hands, okay? Again, I'm repeating, you all have to use tongs for it. Okay, so what you all are supposed to do, you all will heat one end of the needle, okay, with the help of the candle. So could you all see one of the pin dropped? One of the pin fell down. had 3 pins. One just fell down. The other pin fell. Can you all observe it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One pin is at the farther end. One pin is still left. So all the pins dropped down. All the pins fell off. Okay, why does this happen? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me why did it happen?
Because the metal rod is a conductor and the rod is the pins are one like here, and then so the heat source is over here, and so that the pin will fall off one by one, which according to which is closer to the heat.
Yeah. So what happens is inside this candle, there are molecules, as ma'am told you. Okay, molecules are there. So the molecule which is closest to the heat, it gets heated up. Okay, then it passes on the heat, it vibrates. When it gets heated up, it vibrates. You all know what is vibration, right? All of you all know? Your phone vibrates something, vibrating. Okay, so what happens? The molecules close to the heat, they vibrate. Okay, and what happens? They pass on the heat to the other molecules. Those molecules get heated, then they pass on the heat to the neighboring molecules. In that way, all the molecules keep passing on the heat to each other. And finally, the other end of the needle gets heated. Okay, from one end, the heat passes to the other end. This is because of the transfer of heat from the molecules to the other molecules. They transfer the heat. They don't move, but they transfer the heat. Okay, they transfer the heat to the neighboring molecules. The neighboring molecules get heated, then they transfer their heat to their neighboring molecules. In that way, the entire needle gets heated up. So this process of transfer of heat is called conduction. Okay, it's called conduction because the heat travels from one end of the object to the other end. So when it is within a solid object, that process of heat transfer is called conduction. So this happened because of conduction. All right? All of you understood what is conduction? It is because the molecules transfer the heat to the neighboring molecules, and that is how the transfer of heat takes place. That is how all these needles fell off, because the heat energy was transferred to the neighboring molecules one by one, and then they moved to the end of to the other end of the needle. Clear with this? All of you clear with conduction? This happens because of conduction. Okay. All right. Now we'll move on to the next activity.
So who all are performing this activity? Hia was doing it and Harshini was doing it, I think. Hia and Harshini, you were doing it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, I can't do it because
needle was not
it's
sticking.
not sticking to the needle. The needle is too thin.
Ma'am, one of my pins fell.
One of your pins fell. Can you turn your video on here so everybody can see it?
Ma'am, I already took it out.
Okay. So you all can try this activity. For those for whom the needle or the pin wasn't sticking, what you have to do is take little bit of wax from the candle, okay? And it should be little hot, so that it is able to hold the safety pin onto the needle, okay? And in that stage, put it on the needle, put the wax, and then put the safety pin on the needle and let it dry. Don't move it. Leave it that way. So it will become dry and it will stick there firmly. And after that, try to do the experiment. Yes, Samit?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So and send the pictures when you do it.
Ma'am, I'm saying that I can't do mine because the needle's too thin and it's sticking to the floor and it's not thumbtack isn't sticking to the needle.
Oh, okay. So then try the way Hia did. Try with a metal scale if you have a small metal scale, or you have already made a assembly, right, Samit? So hold your metal rod with a tong in the kitchen and try to heat it in the kitchen burner.
Ma'am, but I broke that one because I tried that one and now it's gone. It's already done.
Excellent. All right, no worries. So whenever possible, you all try to do this activity. Okay. Now let's move on to the third experiment. Nicola, ma'am, you can guide them.
So you'll need a candle for that, a matchbox with matches. These two things you'll need. Okay. Burn the or light the candle.
Turn your videos on, please. Atharva, Hia, and Samit.
Okay. So yes, you can light your candle. All of y'all can light the candle. Okay. Since it's fire, be very careful of it. Yeah. Samit and Atharva are still yet to come. We cannot see. I mean, the videos are not turned on. Yeah. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to place your hand little above the flame. Okay. Don't put it very close to the flame. So you have to place your hand little above the flame and one hand at the side of the flame. Tell me which feels hotter, above the flame and sideways.
Ma'am, the one above the flame.
The one above the flame. Is it the same for everyone, or someone feels it hotter at the side also? Hmm?
Ma'am,
Harshini?
on the side it's not at all hot, ma'am. Like nothing like hot. It's not at all hot.
Yes, it's not at all hot.
Ma'am, in the side
Okay,
it's not hot, but when I keep it at the top, it's hot.
hot. Okay. Sonal, is it the same for you?
Same, ma'am. Same.
Okay. All right. Now, can anyone tell me what happens here?
Ma'am, it's
Can
hotter
anyone think and tell me
above
why?
than
Because
side.
Ma'am,
yes.
because of convection heat.
Can anyone tell me why does this happen? Because our hands are closer here also.
Ma'am,
It is very
hot
close to
air.
the flame, but our hands are very far away from the flame here. So why does it happen?
Ma'am, the flame is burning
Ma'am,
upward.
hot air
Ma'am, I think
rises
it's
so you
because
can
the
feel
hot
that it's
air
hot.
always goes up.
Ma'am, the heat goes up.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Yes. Okay. What happens is when the
Ma'am?
candle is burning. Yes, Sonal? Yes.
Ma'am, convection is the process by which heat travels through the air, and heat actually travels upwards. So that's why we can't feel the heat on the side.
Yes, very good. Okay, so this mode of heat transfer is called convection. Now, what happens is when the flame is burning, okay, the air above the flame gets heated up. Okay, that hot air, it moves upward. So, whenever we put our hand there, we feel the hot air. All right, and that air will move upwards, and the cold air will come and replace this area. Now the cold air will become hot and move upwards. The hot air, after becoming cold, it will move downwards. This is how a circulation will take place. Hot air and cold air will replace each other. When the air, always remember, whenever the air becomes hot, it becomes lighter. So it moves upward. Okay? Whenever the air becomes hot, it becomes lighter. So it moves upward. When it goes higher up, it becomes cool and it comes down. So this is when the flame is burning, the air above it becomes hot. So it becomes lighter. It moves upward. Okay. When it moves upward, the cold air from up comes down and replaces and comes here. Okay. It replaces this position. So in that way, there is a circulation of hot air and cold air. This is called convection. So from a candle, the heat is transferring to the air. So this is called convection. This mode of heat transfer is called convection. Okay, that is why the air above gets heated and not sideways, because heat always moves upward, not sideways. All right, over to Swapna ma'am.
Okay. So we'll quickly see the observations that we need to write for the experiments and move on to the explanation part of it. All right. So the first experiment that we did was to recognize the thermal conductors and insulators. Now we know that what are conductors and insulators, but the experiment that we did today, we did to identify thermal conductors. Okay, there is one more type of conductor. Do you all know what it is? Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So when we are talking about conductors and insulators, when we are dealing with heat, we call them thermal conductors and thermal insulators. Okay. And the other place where we use conductors and insulators is in case of electricity. Okay. So we say electrical conductors and we say thermal conductors. So here in this table, you have to write down all the items that you all used for the activity in the first column. And then in the second column, you have to write what material it is made up of. And in the third column, you have to write whether you could feel the heat at the other end of the object or not. Okay. So this was the first. Yeah.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I just figured out that how should we write the notes, ma'am? I didn't understand actually.
What note?
Ma'am, you told to keep a book for this thing, like we have to keep a book and.
Yes, I'll tell you. We'll go on to that. Let's finish the experiment sheet and move on to the notes part. Okay. Now this is the second experiment that you all did, which is heat transfer by conduction. Okay. So there's no observation table here. We just observed that this is the assembly that Nicola ma'am had demonstrated. You heat it on one end and the pins start falling. Now tell me, in this assembly, if the heating is happening at this end, at the end Y, which pin will fall first? Will A fall first or B or C?
Ma'am, C.
C. Why?
Because it's
Ma'am, because it's
So when the heat is, the heat will travel from Y to C to B and to A, and eventually it will reach the point X. That's why Nicola ma'am had told you all to use a tong. Okay. Otherwise, after the last pin falls, the heat would have reached your hand. Okay. So it's very important that you use a tong for this activity. Now the third experiment was by convection. Okay, so no observation sheet here also. Let's move on to the explanation. All right. Now, as we already discussed, that the transfer of energy from one object to another is called transfer of heat energy from one object to another is the transfer of heat. Okay, it's known as the transfer of heat. Now there are many types of articles. You know, there are metals, there are non-metals, and various types of them. Some of them allow the heat to pass through them, which are known as the thermal conductors, and the others like wood, plastic, glass, rubber, they will not allow the wood to the heat to move through them. They are known as the insulators. Okay, so we are talking about the thermal conductors and insulators here. Now, when we go to the main topic of the day, that is transfer of heat, we are going to be dealing only with the conductors, because the transfer of heat will happen only in the conductors. Okay? All right. So, when two objects are in close contact with each other, okay, when your drawing pin was closely attached to the needle, the heat was conducted from the needle to the pin, melting the wax and making the pin fall off the needle, right? So when two things are physically in contact with each other, the transfer of heat happens by conduction. Okay? So when two objects are closely touching each other, for example, when your mom is cooking in the kitchen, okay, she uses a spatula to stir the food. Okay, you would have observed that she doesn't use a metal spatula. She will use a wooden spatula. If she uses a metal spatula, eventually the metal spatula also gets hot. Okay, so the transfer of heat from one solid to the other solid happens by the mode of conduction. That is the first type of heat transfer. Okay. So heat transfer by conduction happens only in solids. In liquids, there is one exception, which is mercury. In mercury also conduction takes place. Except mercury, no other liquid or no gas allows conduction to happen. Okay? Is this clear? Conduction understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So when a solid molecule, you know that the molecules of solid are very tightly bound to each other. They have a very strong bond, because of which the solids have a rigid shape. Okay, so the molecules, so what happens when you heat a solid? Now let's take the example of ice. Okay, when you are heating the ice, the molecules in the ice, the solid molecules in the ice, they start, what happens to them? They start vibrating in its position. Okay, the molecules which had potential energy, now they gained kinetic energy and they start moving in place. When you go on supplying more heat, the molecules will vibrate so fast that the bonds will break, and then the ice gets converted into water. Is this like being clear to everyone what I'm saying? Yeah. So
Yes, ma'am.
conduction is happening inside the solid also, but when we are talking about heat conduction type of heat transfer, we are talking about two different objects. Okay, so one metal object which is touching the other metal object, the heat transfer which will happen in between them is by a method called conduction. Okay, now the second type of heat transfer is by convection. Now this type happens in liquids and gases. Right, now I'll ask you a question before explaining this. If you would have visited any of the if you would have visited any houses in the village, where your grandparents used to stay, you would have seen ventilators at the top of the house. Have you all ever seen that? Have you all seen ventilators? Do you all know what ventilators are?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen them or no?
Yes, ma'am.
You've seen them? No. Okay. So earlier, the old houses which were built, they used to have a circular opening towards the top of the wall. Okay. Usually, before, like, they did not have air conditioners and all. Okay. They
Ma'am,
just yeah.
is it like chimneys in the factory?
No, chimneys are like exhaust. Ventilator is just a cut. So your wall is there, they make a big cut in the wall, they make a big hole in the wall. Okay, and they are usually towards the top of the wall. So what happens whenever the room gets heated up, the air in the room gets heated up along with it, and the hot air, because the hot air is light, it moves upwards, and the ventilator which is at the top of the wall, the hot air exits the room from there. Okay, so the room, it used to keep the room cooler. It was a natural way of removing the hot air from the room. Now we have air conditioners, so we don't we don't have ventilators in our house. But you all can ask your parents, they must be knowing, in the old ancestral houses and all, they used to have ventilators, a big exit, not an exit, but a big exit for the air, hot air at the top of the wall. Now it always used to be at the top, and the reason is very, very scientific, because the hot air is always lighter. Okay, so the movement, so whenever the air gets heated up, the density of the air reduces. Can you all explain me what density is? You all know what density is?
Density is how buoyant something is.
Sorry, come again, I couldn't hear. How buoyant and
Ma'am, density
buoyant
is like
something
how
is.
much heavy an object is, like a thing is heavy, or like
no, heavy is a wrong. Heavy is
depth.
no. Okay, density is something which defines in one particular given area how many number of molecules are present. If, say, for example, you have on your hand, if there are 5 chocolates, and when your hand has 10 chocolates on them, so when you have 10 chocolates, it is more dense. When in the same area you have less number of items, it becomes less dense. So the density of the hot air is less. So the hot air moves upwards. The cold air comes down to fill in the place of the hot air. And this circulation keeps happening all the time. And this circulation looks like a conveyor belt. You all have seen a conveyor belt in the airports where you get your luggage.
Yes,
It is
ma'am.
a conveyor, but it is vertical. It is like a standing position of the conveyor. So the hot air is going up. It's like a water cycle, yes. So it's like the hot air goes up, the cool air comes down. Then again, like, the cool air which comes down gets heated up, it moves again. It moves upwards, and again the cool air comes down. So this cycle keeps happening. Now this type of heat transfer is called convection. Okay, so this convection type of heat transfer takes place in liquids and gases. It does not happen in solid, because solids molecules cannot move freely. They are closely packed to each other. They cannot move. So the convection takes place only in liquids and gases. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the third type of heat transfer is radiation. The best example that we have for radiation is sun's heat energy, the way it reaches to us. Now we know that sun, and in between the sun and the earth, it's vacuum, right? There's no medium, it's space. Okay, so radiation means the transfer of energy without any medium. In the first type, we saw that it happens in a solid medium. In the second type, we saw that it happens in a liquid and gaseous medium. In the third type, we don't need any kind of medium. And that kind of heat transfer, which does not need any medium to travel, is called radiation. Is this clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So this type of radiation is just like, how light waves travel, how sound waves travel, how radio waves travel. The radiation of heat energy is also similar to that in a wave form, like, in a sine wave, in a transverse or a longitudinal wave. All right. So these are the three types of heat transfer. Heat transfer in solids due to conduction, heat transfer in liquids and gases due to convection, and heat transfer without a medium in a vacuum is called as radiation. Okay? Now see, here in this vessel which is used to boil water, all the three types of heat transfer modes are indicated. So when the vessel is getting heated by the fire, that is one type. When the water which is moving inside, that is convection. Okay, and this energy, which is, when even when you're close to the gas burner, you feel the heat. That is radiation. Okay, all three forms of heat transfer demonstrated in one application. Okay, is the types of heat transfer clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the difference between temperature and heat clear to everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now, from today, we are going to have a new thing for all of you. It is that we will be assigning you some questions which will be based on the same topic, but it will call for a little bit of more thinking, and you might want to Google it, you might want to read things about it and come up with an answer. Okay, so every class we will be assigning you two such questions for which you'll have to send us the answer. You all can read, you all can ask, you all can try it out. By whatever means you want, you can find out the answer. Okay, so I want you all to note down the first question for today. The first question is, two applications of conductors, thermal conductors and insulators in our day-to-day life.
Ma'am, what?
Two applications of thermal conductors and insulators in our day-to-day life. Okay. The second question, which is a part of the first question, is two application of thermal conductors and insulators in industries. We all know, right? Many types of industries are there, wherein you need as we just talk about chimneys, right? Chimneys are there in the factories. That means, yeah.
Can you repeat the questions?
The first question is two applications of thermal conductors and insulators in your day-to-day life. The second question is two applications of thermal conductors and insulators in industries. Okay, so no, there's one more. There's one more. Okay, the third question which you will have is, You know the railway tracks are made of metal.
Ma'am, can you
Yeah.
wait for 1 minute?
Okay, you all have noted down the first two questions, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there's a third question. So you all know that the railway tracks are made of metal. You all have seen railway tracks closely anytime? Have you all seen? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you have to tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now
No,
who has
ma'am.
not seen? Who has not seen a railway track?
Me, ma'am.
Harshini. Okay.
Harshini.
So Harshini, right now, I don't know whether you'll be in a position to go and visit a railway station, but you can Google out the pictures of a railway track. Okay. Now tell me, if we are in Pune and we have to take a train all the way to Mumbai, okay, will the track be made of one single piece of big metal? No.
No, ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, I think it is because, ma'am, because the railway tracks has to go to many different areas, ma'am. So if there's only like one railway track all over from Pune to Mumbai, ma'am, then the other places, ma'am, it won't be possible.
Okay, so a lot of branches have to be made, right, in the railway tracks. And at the same time, making a big railway line from Pune to Mumbai with a single piece of metal, it will be very difficult to install. Imagine the laborers who will carry the railway track and put it on on the planes. It'll be very difficult. So what they do, they use small pieces of railway tracks and they go on connecting them. Okay. Now, while they connect, they leave little bit of gap between two tracks. Now, this is your third question, that why there is a gap between railway tracks. That is your third question for today. And all the questions that I gave you right now, yeah. And you don't now. No, you don't tell it now. Let others also do a research and find out. Okay. You all can send it on the group whenever you are ready with the answers. But read about it. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, can you repeat the questions so that I've gotten them right?
Okay. So have you written all of them or have you written none?
I've written all of them, but I just want to make sure I wrote
Okay,
them.
so the first question was two applications of thermal conductors and insulators in your day-to-day life. Okay.
Okay, ma'am, that's
Second question was two applications of thermal conductors and insulators in the industries. The
okay, ma'am.
third question is, why do they keep gap in between the railway tracks? Why
Okay,
is
ma'am.
there a gap in between railway tracks? All the answers are based on the topics that we studied today. Okay. So this will enable you to read more and learn more about these concepts. Okay. So all understood in the class today? Any doubts you all have?
No,
No,
ma'am.
No. Okay, fine. All right. So one important thing, next week there'll be no class because of Independence Day. We will be observing a holiday on 15th of August. So now we directly meet on 22nd of August. Okay. All of you all, those who have not done the conduction experiment, try to do the experiment, send us the pictures and write down the answers to all these questions in your notebook and send us the picture of the notebook.
okay, ma'am.
All right, children. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
ma'am,
Yes. Yes, Saman.
ma'am, you told that you will tell about the notes later,
Oh, yeah. So, one thing is that if you are maintaining a file to note down the observation, then if you're printing out the experiment sheet, then then you need not write the experiment observation in the notebook. But whatever we discussed today, like the difference between heat and temperature, the important points whenever we are talking in the class, the important points you must note down in your notebook. And these questions, the research questions that we are giving you, these also should be maintained in your notebook.
Yes, ma'am.
So whenever, like, it becomes like a, good knowledge book for you all. Whenever you want to refer it later, it will have all the answers. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
See you all on 22nd. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.